My Dyson DC27 escapades are pretty much over, because out of the pair that you saw a little while ago, we have this one done almost, just a few bits to finish off. We'll show you how it turned out, and I've not tried it yet, so we both need to see how it works together. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? Yes, this, despite being very, very different to anything I've ever done before, it is its own thing, bless it. There's a bit of familiarity, but not really, it is its own job. It wasn't too bad once I got into it, and yes, now this is done, it is working very, very well. Let us start at the top, where the only real issue is the hose grabs onto the wand, and both the hoses do this and both the wands do this, so I think it's just where, look, it's so clean now, yeah, it's getting exciting now, that it's gripping on. I think I've got to use it in order to stop it doing that. Hose now has a lovely lock button on it, and everything up top is very hunky-dory indeed. As we move on down to our cyclone, which had actually been cleaned before, this wasn't too bad. I've sort of finished off somebody else's project, I think. Cyclone just needed a nice new gasket, as they all do, and it is lovely as well. Underneath, well, everything washed up really very nicely indeed, bar the hose, which is stained as anything. And yeah, it's what it is, really. It's just like a DC33, just a bit of a different shape. But what you probably haven't failed to notice is in a minute, there's no filters, and that does become a problem, because when I tested it, I realised that, yeah, you need the filters in order to sort the suction out. So I'm going to take this off, and I'll show you what we're going to fit. In terms of filters, these machines are completely bespoke. Belts are belts, and the clutch is the clutch, that's fine, but yeah, the filters are Dyson DC27 specific. Very different size and shape, but even the post only fits the Dyson DC27. Luckily, however, these were still only about £8 for the set, so at least they do make them. And yes, we can take out our brand new post motor filter cartridge. Very nice, and then, oh yeah, I said I was going to do this off camera, didn't I? Oh well. We'll open this up. Now, I did think about keeping the more DC33 style, but then decided not to, that this would be more fun. And yes, we now have our spotless interior with its brand new motor, and we can sit our post filter down, and then working out how the heck this fiddly filter cover goes on, we now have ourselves a post motor fitted. Onto this now, and yes, you need a pre-motor filter at the very, very least in order for one of these to work, because it forms part of the seal for this bit. As you can see, a lot sticks out, and that is what seals it up against there. So yes, if you happen to have one of these and want to know if you can run it without filters, because sometimes, yes, people ask me questions that are that silly. No, you can't, because you can't even get any suction out of it. The last thing to go is some tools, and I found these in the shed. I don't think that's quite the right tool. I think I'm a generation newer, but equally I didn't change it, so who cares? Although, ooh, this won't clip in. Why won't you clip in? Have I not put the clip back on properly? Ooh. Well, whatever. Who cares? We have ourselves a working Dyson DC27, and now I'm going to plug it in, and we are going to turn it on, and I'm going to use one of these for, I think, the first time ever. Now, this could be interesting, because if you follow my channel and you haven't just watched this because you have a DC27, you know that I use a different vacuum cleaner, every month, and this year so far has not been the sort of vacuum cleaners that are going to really do a lot to carpet. They have been cordless or straight suction. This doesn't strike me as being a very deep cleaner, just because how this completely floats on some of the older Dysons. This internal hose acts as the pivot on my DC17. There are massive springs to pull the head down to the carpet. Some people tell me to use car wheel weights on the top to pull it down, and this is probably the application that needs it most, because there is nothing, it just pivots around. So, let's see if it works. Yeah, I was right, that is a pretty lightweight cleaner. It didn't seem to dig down, but it was very nice to use. Now, doesn't look nice anymore. This is why I don't use many post-refurb Dysons, especially if they're not mine, because yeah, I've now got to clean it all up again. But hey, that has got a fair bit right down from the depth of that rug. Let's put that back on for a sec, because it's all going to need a clean off now anyway. We are going to fight the wand now, because I have just realised that we have to look at the suction, and the only way to do that is from this wand, and the only way that I'm going to be able to get, look, it's down there, look, and I don't quite know why. But as soon as I loosen the hose a bit, it all comes out. And like I say, I tried this with a completely different hose that I haven't washed, and the other wand, and they both did it. And then yeah, as soon as it's at the right way, look, it all comes off and pretends that nothing happened at all. I think part of what I probably should do, especially if I sell this, because I do want to sell this, is to vacuum my stairs. Because, yeah, look, something to do with it coming up, and I've no idea why. I'll have a look into that. There might be a slight thing that I haven't pushed the tab in properly from when I took the wand apart. But, click. I don't know, look, because that bit's alright, and you would assume that if the tab sit up there now, that if that bit wouldn't slide up into that fairly tight space, nothing would. And yet, the hose is absolutely fine. It might be slightly bent. I don't know. It is a little bit annoying because, yeah, obviously somebody's going to notice the fact that you have to spend 10 minutes taking the hose out. Flipping thing. Maybe I should just buy us a new hose. I think, if anything, maybe this hose is just a bit bent on the coils. And the other one was as well, and, you know, now we have to live with the consequences. Oh, right. Let's clean the black rug next, because it needs a good going over. that's actually very nice to use. Yes, I've just spent a few minutes cleaning it up again and bending the tabs in the bottom of the wand up, and it was so. Look, it goes up and down a tree. So I thought, I've never known it happen before on any Dyson. Annoyingly, this is now disgusting, and the only way to clean it is to take the brush roll out, and taking the brush roll out on one of these is a complete nightmare. The belt removal tool doesn't fit, there's nowhere to lever it. It's pretty horrible. Also, this upholstery tool is in fact a whole different design. I just had a few minutes, and yeah, it all hits the back of there before that clips in. So I'd imagine I need to go through the box of stuff and find another upholstery tool that fits. But it's a nice thing to use. It's like using a DC33, but with, you know, the performance of something a bit better than a DC33. It's definitely got sort of DC25-esque performance. It does clamp itself down, although I'd imagine a lot of that is down to suction, and once the suction, you know, goes when this filter needs washing, or, you know, the gasket in the cyclone goes, or it just does a Dyson, it's not going to clamp down anymore, and it's not going to work very well. It is very sturdy, very nice. It's, you know, no more or less wobbly than any of its plastic spined predecessors and plastic handled, but I can 100% see why they weren't terribly popular, why I've never seen one before, and why you just see DC33s or DC25s, nothing else. Maybe this was the last hurrah of the wheeled ones. I don't know roughly what came first. I imagine this and a DC33 were out at the same-ish amount of time. I don't know. It didn't really fill a gap in the market, and that shows because they're not here today and are possibly thought of as quite niche, quite oddball, but they're not bad. This is no DC17 though. That's my new Dyson benchmark, and nothing else has beaten it, even though my 17 is currently suffering from a snapped chassis, which is quite annoying. So another horror from the shed done, I suppose we could call this. Ready for a new home somewhere, whether that's with somebody on Facebook or another collector, who knows. I'm about to go and spam the groups with it to see if anybody wants to take an interest, because it's not something I particularly want to keep. It's nice, I can see why people do like it. It certainly didn't do a bad job, but it's just nothing special really. So yeah, thank you very much for watching though. I hope you've enjoyed. If you got a DC27, I imagine more of my American viewers are going to comment than the British, but hey, everybody's always welcome to comment and say what they like. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I, probably not this, will see you soon. Bye bye.